So when it comes to Scorpio energy, you kind of get hit with this intensity that kind of comes out of nowhere because Scorpios are very, very calmly intense. That's a good way to put it. It's just something you can feel underneath all the undercurrents. So this video is going to describe the differences between a Scorpio Sun and a Scorpio Rising because the two actually do kind of mesh quite a bit um, in regards to the energy that you feel that they give off. It's a very similar energy, but the difference between being a Scorpio Sun and being a Scorpio Rising is that the Scorpio Sun's energy is their ego. So their ego is intensely private, intensely secretive, intensely calculated and competitive and questioning, as opposed to a Scorpio Rising who it's just their ascendant. It's their personality. It's what you look at when you look in the mirror. It's what other people see in you. So although a Scorpio Rising may be very Scorpio-like in their manner, may definitely look a hell of a lot more Scorpio and even be maybe more private sometimes than a Scorpio is. It's mainly due to the differences in the personality is where you can see the differences between the two. Like I said, a Scorpio Sun, depending on where their sun sits, like a Scorpio might be very, very secretive and very private and very Scorpio-like in manner within wherever their sun is sitting in their chart. But like they might be warm, say like their Venus sign could be in Cancer, so they could be very, their like love style could be very maternal in nature. The differences that you see between a Scorpio Sun and a Scorpio Rising, it's all dependent mainly on personality. Like, you'll meet a Scorpio, and a Scorpio is going to come off as very reserved and private, but, and very deep as well, definitely. But when you meet a Scorpio Rising, it's like Scorpio energy on display. These people have intense eyes, they have intense voices, they give off this strong plutonic energy that says, don't mess with me. Don't mess with me, I'm a Scorpio Rising. As a Scorpio Rising myself, which my sun is in Pisces, the thing that I can definitely say is that I'm actually engaged to a Scorpio, so this is a pretty good representation. We mesh great together because we are very similar, but still everything for him that is Scorpio wise like operates on like an ego basis. Like that is his go-to. It is the heart of who he is. It is what he thrives off of. It's this depth and intensity. Whereas for me, it's just the personality I give off. My depth and intensity is in the way that I look and the way that I appear to others. My ability to see everything that's going on around me, my intense glare and scorpionic eyes. It's my ego though still is in Pisces. So that's where you see the difference. Scorpio still is going to be a hell of a lot more Scorpio than a Scorpio rising or a Scorpio moon, which I also have in my chart. But they are going to still have a lot of similarities between, or there's still going to be a lot of similarities between a Scorpio rising and a Scorpio sun. They're going to be able to understand each other on a very deep level, a level that requires a lot of depth. They're going to understand the secretiveness. They're going to understand the questioning. They're going to understand being very controlled. And that's another thing as well, definitely. Um, Due to the ascendant being your personality style, a Scorpio rising is very controlled in their personality. You're not going to see these people making super quick and moves and like not thinking about what they're doing. Like a Scorpio rising thinks about every single move. Whereas you still see this with like a Scorpio sun, you see them being calculating, considering their actions and all that stuff. But a Scorpio rising even more so, just because you are very in control of the personality that you give off. Like, due to us being like energy cultivators, that's the way I like to look at Scorpio energy. We're super in control of the energy that we push forward and like allow to leak out of our personalities. So if I want to, it sounds very, very cocky, but it's true of any Scorpio rising that you would meet. We kept the potential definitely to be energy vampires, but instead we also have the ability to push out intense emotions onto other people and kind of flavor and color the energy around us in the room. We can push out happiness and bring people to the brink of ecstasy, or we can be sad and just being around us, people will feel like they're getting down in the dumps. Scorpios and Scorpio risings are fantastic at doing work that involves like energy healing, or more so just like being in control of the mood of an atmosphere. Like they make great like DJs and performers and stuff like that, musicians especially, which I do not have that talent myself personally, but I do know how to play music to invoke emotion in people. And Scorpio risings have that a lot more so than Scorpios do. We have this intensity in our voices and the personality that we project out to the world, that we have a way of really getting people to feel things, like definitely, like just in a very intense manner, and like invoking emotion into people. Now, I'm not saying that Scorpios don't have that ability too. They do. But it's more so an ego-based thing for them. It's something that they are kind of drawing more so inward, I guess you could say, into their ego and projecting outward. Whereas a Scorpio rising, you don't have that same ability. It's your ability to control it is mainly outward. It's not something that you're taking in. It's not a feeling-based kind of thing that's like inside of you and your ego. You're not thriving off of the control. You're not thriving off of the intensity. It's just what you give out. So that's why you'll see a lot of Scorpio risings attracting to Scorpio suns or Scorpio moons, just because the energy, especially Scorpio moons. I have met other Scorpio moons that I am really close to, and they just really enjoy the energy that I give off because it is very nurturing for them. Ceres in Scorpio as well would definitely be one. It's like with Pluto energy, I've realized a lot. It's birds of a feather like flock together, definitely. Scorpio, Scorpio rising, Scorpio moons all get along really well with people with strong 8th house planets as well. The intensity is strong and we know how to project it, and it's not for the weak or the brave or the unbrave. It's a good way to put it. They say Scorpios are all or nothing, and we are. We are definitely an all or nothing sign. And with a personality, i.e. your rising sign, that projects this ability to command, an ability to manifest due to your ability to just take, and that sounds horrible. Because like I said, I'm a Pisces sun, so I don't see it that way. I could see it maybe if you were more of like a earthy Scorpio rising, but I'm triple water, so I don't really have that, and it's pretty soft water as well, especially with my moon being in the first. But you have this ability to really bring people to you. We magnetize people very easily, and so when you put two Scorpios together with that ability to magnetize, you just have two magnets sticking together. And it's like an unbreakable bond. So that's what I wanted to cover. I wanted to cover what exactly it meant, or what the differences were between Scorpios and Scorpio risings, because those two definitely can get mixed up. There is a lot of similarity there. And I realized that when I met my fiance, because there were a lot of things that he saw me do, and he thought that I was operating kind of on an ego level just because he could recognize the traits. But I didn't have as much invested into the Scorpio aspects of me, if that makes sense. I'm still a Pisces at heart. My core is still a Pisces, whereas his is still a Scorpio. So, yeah, that would be the differences between Scorpios and Scorpio risings. Hope you guys enjoyed it.